Welcome, Middlers, to the Medium in the Middle podcast. My name is Stephanie, and I take you on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual exploration. I am a Reiki master teacher, a spiritual and business mentor, and of course, a psychic medium. And I am here to share my story and help you tap into your extraordinary abilities. Join me every Wednesday as we dive into the realms of intuition, energy healing, and all things mystical. Whether you're a seasoned spiritual seeker or just dipping your toes into the magical waters, this podcast is your go-to source for inspiration, guidance, and a whole lot of lessons and laughter along the way. Let's get started. Hello, Middlers. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Stephanie. I am the medium in the middle. And here is part 3 of the psychic love story. I know you guys have been waiting. I've received so many messages, so here it is. This is the final part of a 3-part series. If you haven't already, pause this and go listen to part 1 and part 2, where I lay the groundwork and I share the history of this story that started way back in 2010. And then 2018, and then now we are in 2025. So this has spanned across a big chunk of my life. Make sure you listen to part 1 and 2, and then come back for the final part. Now, I want to do a little built-in intuition test. So these are the questions that I want you to check with yourself. Question number 1, do we go on the date? Question number 2, do I see him again? Question number 3, are we dating now? Ask your intuition. See if you're right at the end of this episode, those 3 questions. So I wanted this 3-part series to release on Valentine's Day week because I thought that was very fitting. So happy Valentine's Day week to everybody. I hate Hallmark holidays, but it's something nice to say to people. The first mediumship practice circle for February is happening this weekend on the 15th. So if you would like to join one of my mediumship practice circles, the first one is this Saturday at 11 a.m. They are 75 minutes long. So if you have been wanting to join, it's a great time. And there will be a second one this month as well. On February 27th, there is a 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time circle, just giving 2 options. I know Saturday mornings don't work for everybody, so there are 2 mediumship practice circles this month. I can't stress this enough. There's no experience necessary. Anyone can join the circles. We are just practicing. So if you think you want mediumship practice, this is the circle for you. No one is expecting anything. We're just trying our best. You can give a message or just stare at the person. But trust me, spirit always shows up. Something always happens, even if you just make a few new woo-woo friends. Don't be scared. Join the meetings. And then we are booking Reiki trainings into March. So the next level 2 is March 8th and 9th. And the next level 1 is March 22nd and 23rd. I will leave all the links you need down below in the show notes, as always, in order to book your spot in the monthly mediumship practice circle or in a Reiki training. And as a reminder, I do a Reiki level 1 and a Reiki level 2 every single month. They do sell out, so whenever the date works for you, save your spot. But without further ado, let's jump into part 3. So in part 2, I left you off with, it was Sunday night. I finally messaged him, and then we had planned a date for Thursday. It was Wednesday. It was the day before, and I get a text message from him. And he says, hey, I have a lot going on with work, and I just got some bad news, and I feel like my energy's all over the place, and I just want to be present with you and make sure I have good energy. So I think we should cancel tomorrow. I don't think it's a good time. And I remember I was sitting at my desk because I was doing some work, and I looked at the text message and I laughed out loud. I was like, ha ha ha. I was like, he thinks he's canceling tomorrow. And again, psychic Steph, I was like, I'm going to see him tomorrow. Like, this is just a little freak out that he's having. Like, I know I'm going to see him tomorrow. So I was like, okay, I'm going to play this all like cool girl. So I was like, oh, like, no problem. I know you have a lot going on and you don't know like what tomorrow is going to be, like what his schedule was going to be. So I was like, we could totally play it by ear. Like, I work till 6:30 anyways, so I can just message you after work. And like, if it works, we'll meet up. And if it doesn't work, like, all good. And he was like, yeah, okay. I just like think maybe another time would be better. And like, I'll text you tomorrow though. And I was like, okay. But I just remember I had no worries at all. Like, I was like, I'm seeing him tomorrow. Like, there's not a doubt in my mind that I'm not seeing him tomorrow. And I was like, he can send this little freak out text and think he's canceling and think it's not going to work out. Like, I know I'm seeing him tomorrow. And I even remember when I was like texting my friends, I was like, LOL, like he tried to cancel thinking he's not showing up tomorrow. Like, I just knew he was coming. I was like, there's no doubt in my mind. I'm not going to freak out about this. I'm not going to worry. He's coming. So then it's Thursday, I finish work, and I literally start to get ready because I know that I'm going to see him. And I remember I was like halfway through doing my hair, and I get a message from him being like, hey, like, actually, I do want to come tonight. Like, I think I was just freaking out. Like, does 8 o'clock still work? Like, I can still get there. And I was like, yep, like, see you at 8. So he was picking me up for the date because I live in Banff, which is a very small town, and I know everybody, and not like in a I know everybody cocky type of way. Like, no, it's a small town. Everybody knows everybody, and you can't just take dates anywhere. There are certain spots you take dates if you don't want anyone to see you. So I picked a spot that we had to drive to, and he was like, do you want me to pick you up? And I was like, actually, yeah, because, we need to get there. So he picked me up. He's like, okay, I'm here. He sent me a text message. And just as a reminder, I am not like a dating girly. I go on one date a year. I always joke that I'm psychic and I don't have to go on dates, and I will go on one date a year to have my friends stop heckling me. But I'm not like I don't like going on dates. I don't enjoy it at all. So he says he was going to pick me up. I said, okay. He texted me, I'm here. So I went to go out, and I just figured he would be like sitting in his car on the side. And I live in a building, and he was like out walking around the building, and he was like, oh, I was just trying to find like your unit. And I was like, oh, he actually like parked his car and got out and was trying to like come to my door. And I was like, oh, hey, sorry, I didn't tell you my unit number. Like, hi. And again, I hadn't seen him in a long time. So it's been now 5 years I haven't seen him. So, it was like, you're like standing right there. So we get into his really nice car. He has like a nice truck, and he's nervous and I'm nervous. And we made a few jokes about being nervous. And then we went for a drink, and I won't tell you my secret date spot, but we went for a drink at my secret date spot, which is a great spot to go to. And it's kind of quiet, and we had like this little couch in the corner, and we had a few drinks. And I was really nervous at the beginning because I was like, this can go two ways. You're either a stranger or it's going to be like same, like same Mr. Jasper. And as soon as like the nerves went away and we actually just started talking, it was the same. Like, everything was the exact same. And I know him, right? So I was like, oh, how's your mom? Like, how's your family? How's this? How's that? What's been going on? Like, tell me about your kid. You have a kid. Like, how crazy is that? Because we used to talk about having kids. He was the only person that I ever like even considered having kids with. And I don't want kids. Like, I know that. I knew that. But only him, I was always like, do I want a kid with Mr. Jasper? The answer is still no. The answer was no. But I was like, you have a kid? Like, I knew you would be an amazing dad. Like, tell me all about that. So we were chatting for hours and hours and hours. And then they were closing, so we had to leave. And then I was like, oh, like, do you want to go for another drink in town? He was like, yeah, okay. So we went for another drink in town. And then it was like, oh, like, do you want to come back to my house? And then he came back to my house, and we talked until all hours of the night. And then he finally left. No funny business. Nothing happened. I don't even think we hugged. We were both still very awkward, but we just like talked for hours and hours and hours until like 2 a.m. And then that was it. That was the first date. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was the same. Like, it's Mr. Jasper from 10 years ago, but like older and more successful. And he has businesses and properties, and he drives a really nice truck, and he has like a cute little kid. And oh my gosh, like, Yeah. So we all know that I had the dream about him in the last episode, and it was like him saying, "Call me, Steph, call me, Steph, call me." So we were talking about that, and I was like, man, I felt crazy for messaging you. And he was like, yeah, I was really happy you messaged me because I had actually had a very, very vivid dream about you as well. And I was like, oh. And he was like, it was so vivid that I was also going to message you, but I didn't want to seem crazy. And I laughed and I was like, well, good thing like I'm the crazy one and I messaged you. And I would share his dream because his dream was also crazy, like the symbolism and is it the symbolism in it, but I didn't ask him permission, so I won't share the dream, but just know that it was like crazy symbolic and I was just like, "Oh my god." So we both had dreams about each other in that same like also the night like the same night that he was in my dream saying, "Call me, Steph, call me." He was like, "I had that dream about you the same night like I was going to message you, but I was afraid and I didn't want to be crazy." And I was like, "Oh, like crazy girl knocking on your door. I'll text you first." So we had planned to go out again, and I had tickets to this like food and wine event in Banff. And same thing, I just like got him a ticket because I was like, I know he's gonna come. So he came to that, and he met all my friends because we were all going. And I was like, well, I want to see Mr. Jasper again, and I got this extra ticket, and here are all my friends. And we went out and we hung out for a few months and I met his daughter and we did lots of trips to BC and it was really fun like getting to know him again. And then it started to feel like it was still the wrong time. So I'm going to break all your hearts here and tell you that this story does not have the happy ending that I hoped for, my friends all hoped for, I'm sure you guys all hoped for. Me and my friends were literally like, if this works out, like we all believe in love again. This is the best love story of the year. Like you guys are going to be together forever. This is amazing. And then I was like, oh no, it's still the wrong time. So this happened in the middle of 2024 and it didn't end badly. Like we're still friends. We still chat. Everything's still fine. I have nothing bad to say about him. Who knows what will happen in the future. But at the time that we rekindled everything, it was great for months. And then it was like, ooh, like what are we doing here? We need to pause for now. So I hate to leave you with a sad love story, but I wanted to share this story for a lot of reasons. And the biggest reason that I wanted to share this whole story and I wanted to draw it out in 3 series and I wanted to leave you hanging until Valentine's Day just to break your hearts was because all of this doesn't mean that my intuition was wrong. And just because things don't work out the way we think or we hope or in a positive light does not mean that anything else that happened was wrong. So I've heard a lot of times that like people think their intuition draws them to like a dead end or like, why did I feel so strongly that I had to do that, but it wasn't actually a good thing to do, or it didn't actually end up being successful, or it wasn't a positive experience. That's life, guys. Sometimes things don't end up in the perfect fairy tale, but I was still supposed to experience all those things. I still learned so much. I had a great time. I got to rekindle an old romance. I had so much healing through seeing him be a dad, and there was just so many things that I was like, oh, I didn't know I needed to work on that. Oh, I didn't know I needed to work on that. Oh, you're really highlighting the areas that I need to work on here. So there was like, it was still such a positive and beautiful experience, and I don't regret it. I wouldn't do things differently. I wouldn't have not messaged him after having the dream. Like I wouldn't change anything, but it still didn't end up the way I thought. That doesn't mean all of the signs from the universe, all of the signs from my intuition, all the things that I saw, that doesn't make that wrong. It's just we don't live in a fairy tale. Sometimes we do, but sometimes we don't. And I just hear a lot of times people are like, oh, like I knew I had to buy the car, but now the car's breaking down. Like, why'd my intuition tell me to buy the car? And it's like, your intuition is not telling you that everything's going to be perfect, airy fairy, everything's going to line up A1. Like, there's still going to be hiccups along the road. That's part of life. Going back to the thing I'm always saying, we are still human and we can never skip the human experience. And this right here is a human experience. Yes, I'm Psychic Steph. Yes, I knew we were going to meet up. Yes, I knew we had to go on a date. And then I also knew, uh-oh, I can't ignore this uh-oh either. And maybe the timing is still not right. But who knows? Third time's a charm. I could have another dream, and you never know what's going to happen in the future. Like I said, there's no bad blood. I can only say good things about him. We still have a great relationship. We're still friends. We still talk. There's nothing bad that happened. It was just like, hey, this might not be the right time. Also, this episode was from months and months and months ago, so it's been a while. So I really wanted to share this podcast and this story to share that about your intuition. That doesn't make anything that happened wrong or negative or leading me down the wrong path. Sometimes we have to go down those paths for different reasons, and it's not the perfect happy ending. But like I said, I learned so much. I had a lot of healing. I had a lot of growth, had a lot of fun experiences. I wouldn't change anything. And I really want you to think about this in your life as well, of where you were like, but I thought all signs were pointing to yes. Why didn't it work out perfectly? Not everything works out perfectly. Not everything's supposed to work out perfectly. Sometimes it's just about the drive, and then you get there and you're just supposed to turn around. And the whole point was just the drive. You're not actually going anywhere. So this is a really good lesson of like a full circle moment, seeing how things turn out. And yeah, I hope I didn't burst your bubble too much. Were you right on those questions? Do we go on a date? Yes, we did. We went on many dates. Do I see him again? Yes, I did. I saw him for many months. Are we dating now? No. But that's okay. I know a lot of you are expecting me to hard launch a boyfriend, to Instagram launch a boyfriend. I even had some messages being like, oh my God, are you engaged? No. But I do have a good story with hopefully a good lesson that can help you with your intuition. And when things work out or when they don't work out the way you thought, it's still a learning lesson. And c'est la vie, such is life. This is life. We are human. So that completes my 3-part psychic love story. Thank you for coming along on this journey with me. Next week, we will return to your regular 1-episode stories. I have lots of mediumship stories to share with you. I have lots of good things lined up for the new year. But I really wanted to get this out right in time for Valentine's Day. All the links you need are down below in the show notes if you want to register for a Reiki class, if you want to sign up for your first mediumship practice circle, come join me. Or if you want to book an appointment with me, I offer my services in Banff, Alberta, or online virtually. There's both options on my website, themediuminthemiddle.com. But until next Wednesday, Middlers, when I see you in your ears, I hope you have a wonderful week. Happy Valentine's Day. Bye.